Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mike Plays RP1. This is the series in which I am going through the various programs and contracts in the RP1 mod pack. And if you are interested in maybe giving this a go yourself, you'll find all the information you need down in the description below, including some additional mods that I have installed on top of this because I kind of like them. But let's get into what we're going to be seeing coming up in this episode. So currently, and it's going to take about another day and 15 hours, we have the Bell X2 is being mounted to its carrier. We're going to be air launching that. That is my high altitude rocket plane. Unfortunately, we are going to have to wait a little bit because I screwed up a bit with the mission training. Frederique's not going to be trained until a few days after that, so we're going to have to wait for her to be done. Actually, it's a him. done their mission training. And if the Bell X2 flew last episode, and if you want to take a look, if you missed that episode, you'll find a link to it up here at the top right. But the mission now for the X2 is going to be this second part of the experimental Rocketplanes contract, reach an altitude of 20. You know what? We'll talk about the details of all of this in a little bit, as well as collecting science is always going to be part of the equation. Also coming up, we got the launch complex for the sounding rockets is being reconditioned. That's going to take a couple of days, and we got another sounding rocket coming up, going to be done very, very shortly. That one is purely about science. We'll be launching that fairly soon. And I have a second launch complex, the V2 launch complex. I really ought to rename that because I'm no longer launching V2 rockets. I am launching Redstone rockets from it. Specifically, what's being integrated is the Redstone/U2000B. It's going to be due early in the new year. And that one is going to be going for the 7,500 kilometer downrange milestone contract. So lots of stuff coming your way. Why don't we, here, I'll get rid of the contracts plus window there, and I think all that's we got left to do is actually just start time warping and getting this stuff rolling. So there we go. We are mounted, but I don't want to air launch it yet because my pilot isn't ready. So let's get to that. That is our launch complex being completed. And we do have, we do have 2 more rockets coming. So, all right, let's complete the training for Frederique. And, oh, it is going to be an early morning launch. I like that. Let's do the air launching. Oh, wait. Oh, we got an alarm here. Oh, George Bennett is ready. Okay, that's just Kerbal alarm clock showing up. Okay, that's my other astronaut. That just means they get a few weeks off after every mission, so why don't we get him training as well? I think that's probably a good idea. I got behind on the training before. I don't think I can do the proficiency training, no. So I got to do... I think the proficiency training is just a one-off, but we'll put George Bennett into some mission training as well. Got to keep them going up. So that is now mission training number 2. Do that, and that's for the next Bell X1 mission, or X2 mission. Okay, let's finish off Frederique's training. And Frederique is now ready to go. And now it's the middle of the night, so we're going to time warp till morning. Alright, let's get going with our first mission. Air launch, I think, did I like 300 kilometers? Looking at my notes says yes. I think all the rest of these are at their maxes. They are, so put that back to 300 and launch. Frederique, give him a parachute. Launch. P. There we go. Oh, shoot, I just closed that by mistake. I think we're okay. And we're going. Throttle up. There's always a bit of a delay. And go. Oh, I don't like when there's that much of a delay. It really kind of bothers me. Okay, let's open up the terminal window again, because I didn't mean to close that. Can you show me what was there? Yes, excellent. Okay, because that's giving me the settings to put in here. KOS. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. And altitude to 18 kilometers. Then 25. Okay, so 18 kilometers. Climb angle, let's keep it at about 15. Heading of 270. Yes. Heading. Okay, engage that. Alright, we're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. And we want a speed maximum of 500 meters per second. So let's bring up our contracts. They give you precious little time to set this stuff all up. And we're looking at our crewed missions here. Okay, so we got to be between reach 550 meters per second between, no, okay, so I'm not going to put on the speed control. Between 10 kilometers and 20 kilometers in altitude, then reach 20 kilometers in altitude. Okay, so no speed control. And I'm also doing some science, which I believe is why I put in the 500. Yes. Okay. 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 It's all working. It's all working. Okay. So we should be leveling off at about 18. Yeah. Let me just open up. I'm a little bit confused on a couple of things here. This is the science I'm interested in. Supersonic. Okay. Put this down. I have to have a so this says reach 550, but to run the supersonic science, I'm going to have to slow down. Okay. This might still work, especially if I go up at a very high altitude. Alright, alright, alright. So we are almost at altitude. We got to reach 550 and then climb to 20 kilometers. And I wrote here to climb to 25 for my mission plan. I just use KOS to record my mission plans. Obviously, it's necessary because I get myself very confused with all this kind of stuff. I really need to, you know, give myself better notes. But right now, we're waiting to get to 550. Okay, we are running our supersonic flight here for just a little bit. But once we get more than 525 meters per second, I believe, this will turn off. But that's okay. We'll get back down to that speed in a little bit. Alright, so 550 speed is approaching. Excellent. Okay, now we want to put this up to 25 kilometers. And I might just, I can control the throttle, good. I want to reduce below 500. I want my speed to get below 500 meters per second. If I put on the speed control 500, it's just going to turn the throttle off, which I don't want it to do. Okay, we're over 20, so all we got to do for the contract is land somewhere. Because the reconnect, so we're down now to just one engine that we're running on. Okay, that's good. Let's keep it below 500. So I'm gonna control that throttle, a little more throttle. Oh, nope, don't let it go up. Okay, we are almost at altitude, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna engage my speed control now. And now it's controlling the throttle. So all of that fiddling around with the throttle that I did manually was simply to keep it from simply cutting off this engine and having to reignite, which typically it can do, but sometimes it doesn't do. So now we're just going to cruise along at this. Actually, what I should be doing is setting a waypoint, because we are going to get a waypoint manager. Target that runway. There's our runway, and we'll target that waypoint. There we go. Whew, this is getting confusing. All right. So now it should be maintaining this speed, sticking around 25 kilometers. We should be running our supersonic flight science, which we are, and we should be heading straight at our runway, which is currently 184 kilometers away. Excellent, excellent. Okay. Right now, this is about the maximum altitude for this plane. 30 kilometers is the technical limit, and then we start to get into breathing problems for our pilot, so we're not going to do that. I do have the upgrade to this cockpit, which will allow me to get up to 75 kilometers, which will be something for the future. But I first want to kind of do all this stuff and these experimental rocket plane contracts first, do what I can with the X2 before we start to upgrade it. So right now we're just going to cruise along until we run out of fuel. That's basically the deal here. Actually, somebody mentioned to me they were watching, and actually I think it's okay. Yes, I do have this start to... It looked like this piece here was flapping. See how the elevators, this should be a static piece. It's meant to be like structural in there, but I think it was kind of a optical illusion. I think it's fine. Just notice that in the comments from a previous episode. All right, excellent. Under control. Always takes me halfway through the mission before I start to realize, like, oh, that's what this mission was about. It's all coming back to me now. Okay. I don't know, does it give me a estimated... No, I can't open that. It's gonna run for a little while longer because we got our throttle so low. It's nice to get up to this high altitude because you might recall from the last episode I did this same experiment, the supersonic flight experiment, where you got to cruise about 500 meters per second, but I did it at 15 kilometers instead of 25 kilometers, and the throttle was like at like 75-80%. To get through the thinner air, but now that we're in this, or to get through the thicker air that's lower to us, but now that we're into this thinner air, very, very low throttle, and having no trouble at all, in fact. Just kind of cruising along. Oh, I think that was a restart. This engine technically can only get down to 25%. Current throttle's at 25%, despite of whatever this is. So I think this is decreasing and then it's restarting. I might increase this speed a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that. 515. I think that's still below. I didn't like that. Because every time it has to reignite like that, there's a chance that it won't ignite. That's not cool. So, yeah, really the way the throttle is controlled is not by throttling all of these engines, but instead by just turning them off one by one. So really the throttle can be at 100, 75, 50, and 25%, depending on how many of those engines you have going. So 115 seems to be a better number. I am still collecting the science. But you can see it's at 25% and the speed is climbing. Whatever. Oh, it's doing the same thing again. Ah, frickety, frackety, froo. What about 120? 520? We're going to be overshooting the runway, but I've come to the conclusion that I don't care about that. Okay, 521 experiment still running. I think 525. Still doing the same thing. You can see this throttle slowly going down. Okay, we're running out of fuel. You know what? Let's decrease our altitude. Oh, shoot. Flaps, flaps. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, shoot. Okay. I might have done some bad things there. I was trying to decrease flaps. I put my ones in for my altitude. Oh, the engines finally failed. Okay, we're done. We're done. Got to come up with a better way for that. Okay, that's all cool. Let's put this altitude here at 10,000. And then we're going to overshoot the runway and we're going to turn around. Our heading is currently 271, so let's enter that in for our heading. There we go. Take it off the waypoint because we're going to be passing our waypoint very soon. We'll slow down, turn around, come back. We've got now 8.4 of the available 9.9. Probably one more flight like this, and it'll be good. So I'm thinking for the next one, I might decrease the altitude to 20 kilometers so that it has to give a little bit more throttle. It's that, you know, what happened with what I just did there is I decreased the altitude to 20 kilometers, and then the first thing that the autopilot's going to do is turn off the engine and then just go down. And I should have taken off the speed control before doing that. Or I could control the speed manually. Maybe that's the better plan. Whatever. We're okay. Speed control off, by the way, now. Okay. Actually, I think bring the flaps back. We're going to need the speed for our turn. We've gone subsonic. Flaps have now been retracted. We're going to cruise this direction for a little bit. Because right now we're coming like right over the top of the runway. I would like to get my angle to the runway to be something not, you know, under 20 degrees would be nice. Okay, we're going to level off soon. So instead of doing this, let's put this at 4,000, and let's decrease the rate at which we're dropping. Actually put this at 1,000. And then at some point here I'm going to make a turn. Let's get rid of that. Craft settings, moderate those G's. For whatever reason that keeps turning off, and then it's not cool because it does this crazy sharp turn that I worry is going to break the wings off. Okay, our angle to the runway is now under 40 degrees. But I would like to go, at some point I'm going to have to make this turn. Flatten out a little bit. I'd like to have some altitude when I make this turn. 5 degrees. Because with altitude comes safety. Okay. Angle to the runway is now 20 degrees. I think I can do the corner. I'm going to do the turn. Once this gets to 20. Okay, 20. So I should be able to just click on the waypoint and it should do a turn and it should be relatively gentle. Good, good, good. Now we're going to put this drop angle to 20. This is controlled. We're in control. Okay, should be leveling off. Nice. Okay. A little bit of flaps now. Now we do have to bleed off some speed. Maybe a lot of flaps. A lot of flaps. Another comment I got, and all of these comments came after the first flight of the X1, was to stick another waypoint on either side of the runway a specific distance, and use that to aim at when you're making these kind of descents. I think that'd be a good idea. I'm gonna quick save if I haven't already, because I'm a great big coward. My speed is still significant, which I don't particularly like. Okay, I don't need the waypoint anymore. I can clearly see where I'm going. I can see I'm also not quite lined up for it. But that's okay too. And this should level off. Start leveling off. There it goes. Then I'm going to go to standard fly-by-wire. Oh boy. And I'll deploy those landing gear. Arm the parachute. Hopefully I've been having some issues with the parachute. But I am going still pretty quick. He suggests putting on the cap lock too. Take cap lock off. Oh boy. Oh boy. Putting cap lock on. Ah, shite! Okay. I was fiddling with the cap lock and I got control. Like, okay, we're gonna put it. Ah, it wants it on the runway, doesn't it? Okay, I'm not gonna get the runway bonus. Sorry, I was taking someone's advice and putting on cap lock, and then that turned the controls to something I wasn't used to. And right away, God, can I still make it to the runway? That would be like super duper. Oh my God, what a hot dog you are, Frederic. What a hot dog. And I do not have a parachute. Get down. What is my issue with the parachutes? Brakes, 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 brakes. Okay. All right, we put it on the runway, but I'm still getting the issues with the parachutes. So there we go. That's the contract complete. Didn't have to put it on the runway for the contract. I could have landed and splashed down anywhere, but there is a 12 reputation bonus for that. So that's good. So contract complete, 35 reputation, 150 confidence, and the optional part of the contract, 2 reputation, 43 confidence. Nice. Okay. All right, that's good. Let's recover. Yep. Yes, recover to the spaceplane hangar. All right, so how'd we do here? We have 3.3 science from our experiment. Crew updates. Frederic's retirement date's been pushed back to 11 days. He now will retire on June the 1st, 1962, and also get some time off, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look at our pilots just real quick. I'm going to try and get in the habit when I look at the astronauts. Yeah, Frederic is inactive until June 1st. No, that's retirement day. Until December 15th, 1955, and I can add an alarm for that. So I'm going to try and get in the habit of always doing that. All right. That was successful. Let's get into the vehicle assembly building and see, do I have a second experimental rocket planes? This is the third one, I'm sorry. So this is the 3 contracts. I have completed 2. This one is to get to 700 meters per second between an altitude of 10 kilometers and 28 kilometers. I'm pretty sure this plane can do it. And then go up to 28 kilometers. So that is pretty fast. So what I think I'll do, I don't want to get up to 28. What I think I'll do, let's write ourselves a mission plan for this. Visual Studio, this is my X-Plane boot file. I'll stick with the same, I think, if anything, make it a little closer. I don't mind the turnaround. And what's nice about the closer distance too is that if you get some sort of engine failure, you have the possibility of aborting. I'm going to even go to 200 on this and coming back. So we are going to put the altitude just to 25, but then down to 20 kilometers. So that's the idea. We'll and I'll control the throttle manually when I'm doing that. Again, trying, and then Vmax for doing the experiment at 500 meters per second, like that. There's our mission plan. Okay, get rid of that. Okay, accept that contract. Back to contracts here. I can take that contract we just did and add it to, where is it here? Experimental rocket planes, add that to crewed missions. So now when I look at crewed missions, it's just the stuff that's dealing with crewed missions. Okay, let's get rid of that. The Bell X1, Bell X2 is being recovered. We'll have to get it recovered, and then we're going to have to figure out what exactly went wrong there with the parachute, I'm thinking. Okay. All right, so that is George's mission training that I started at the beginning of the episode. And then we have Mature Supersonic Flight coming up in just 12 hours. What does that do for me? I'm actually getting quite a bit ahead on tech nodes and not really using them. So Mature Supersonic Flight is right here. Bigger landing gear, which I doubt I'll use. Major improvements. Yes, we got some great jet motors. This is really going to be helpful when we get to the jet portion of the X-Planes. And then again, more jet motors. I do have 15.6 science, so I should get some more stuff going here. This is high speed flight. Okay. There's more. I don't know. Oh, we got turbo plop. Turbo plop. And then lots of engine upgrades. And then it's high, supersonic flight. I like how it gives you these years. So this gives you an idea of when around these were in real life. So we're ahead of the curve. We're now December 3rd, 1955. You can see this is for 1956, 1963. Okay, what else do we have going? Do have solid rocket motors, but none of them are big. I don't have big SRBs coming up yet. This is the next SRB. These are starting to look a little bigger. Yeah, these are like 4-ton SRBs. These guys are little guys. Yeah, they're all well under a ton. So that might be something, but I'm going to wait. So I think, again, let's start on the satellite era electronic research. So this is giving us solar panels. Like this is when you're starting to do these satellite buses are amazing. Never got into them in my previous game, but I kind of looked at them. Oh, and a research efficiency upgrade. That just made that decision there, didn't it? So that's going to be 10 science to get that started. I'm not sure if I can afford anything else. These are 6, 6, 10. No. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with that choice. Satellite era. Okay, 1956 to 1960, and it's estimating that we'll be there in 1957. So I think I'm just looking at the order here. Satellite era. Let's just look at research. Satellite era science is coming up next. And satellite era science is this one. All of these come with a researcher, engineer up. The science ones come with a researching upgrade, and then the engineering type ones come with an engineer upgrade, these material science ones. And this gets me isogrid structural tanks and balloon tanks. And yeah, no, I'm happy with that choice for my next one. Orbital rocketry for the next. I'm happy with these. Happy. If anything, I'll push satellite era. No, let's keep it all the way it is. Good. Okay. Not going to be seeing more until we get into June, though. Now, let's take a look at staffing. Do I want to hire more staff? Probably. Where's my budget? Go to daily budget. I'm running a surplus of 236 Kerb bucks a day. So that's cool. How is my V2 launch complex? My V2 launch complex is up to, I think more researchers are in order. for the first thing to go to. So let's go to researchers. It costs, to get a group of 10, costs me 3,000. So let's do a group of 10 researchers. That gets me up to 300 researchers. And it'll be, I don't want to do another group of 10. I'll wait for this to get back up again. But then probably I'll start hiring engineers after that. All right, we're good. It's really this total funds that are really the limiting factor for me right now, more than anything. Okay. Let's recover the X2 and take a look at it and try and figure out what I'm doing wrong with the parachute. So go to here and edit it. I mean, otherwise, I'm really happy with the plane. We're going to have to bring down, toggle the gear, and toggle this gear if I can find it here. Toggle gear. Okay, we're going to fill the tanks. I don't have to come into the spaceplane hangar to do that, but since we're here, we're going to do it. But I need to figure out the parachute. So what I've been... And I don't know, is the parachute just getting fouled? Is that what's going on? Or am I just doing something really dumb with the editor? So let's look at the editor again. Really look through this. Stop it. Okay, texture set to drag. These textures don't really matter. I'm going to keep the material the same. Must go down to deploy. That's good for being a true. Deploy on ground contact. I want you to deploy before you get to the ground. Deploy timer is 0 seconds. Spare chutes 1. Auto cut speeds 0.5 meter per second. Landing altitude in meters is 0. Why would it be anything else? Landing speed is 100 meters per second. That's around where I am. Wanted deceleration 10 meters per second squared, so that's about a G. Parachutes used by the parachute is 1. Altitude deployment, pre-deployment at 50 meters. Full deployment at 10 meters. Auto cut I don't want you to do. Pre-deployment speed. Oh, pre-deployment speed is 1? No, wait. Oh, no, that's 1 second. That was like 1 meter per second. So it's just saying how long it takes to deploy. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. So the only thing I can think of... The only thing I can think of is that somehow it's just getting fouled up because I'm tucking it into this fairing. And that's really an aesthetic choice on my part. Just trying to get it. Come here, you. All right, I can just click on these, open them up. Okay, and then close these again. Like, maybe it has something to do with it doesn't like being on the fairing. Maybe the fairing somehow it just doesn't like it. I clearly don't want to just put it on the back. Will that mess? You know what? I'm going to try it. If I put it on the back of the motor, clearly trying to center it as best I can. And then move it so I don't have to see it anymore. Would that be a better choice? I don't know. But I'm going to leave it the way it is. We'll give it a try. All right, so the Bell X2, I'm going to save it again. And we'll save, I think this is ready to fly again, as far as I know. What is this motor up to, by the way? There is a limited amount of time to fly the motor. Oh, it's only run for 5 minutes in total. I got a total hour right? Isn't that what it's saying? No, no, no. That's the rated burn time. How much can I see? How much time is on the motor now? I don't think I can. I have 4,316 units of flight data on it. There's reliability numbers. Continuous runtime 5 minutes. I wonder if I exceeded that just now. Whatever. I'm not at an hour. I don't need to worry about it. But you would think there should be a number here to just tell you, because there's a total runtime of an hour, to some here tell you what that number is at. And if it's there, I don't see it. Okay, not gonna worry about it. Save edits. See how it goes. Okay, so the it's only gonna take 31 minutes for it to and mission training is done. So yeah, let's do that. Just takes 31 minutes to re-prep the plane, and then we're gotta prep it for air launch. That's gonna take 3 days. And all of that's going to happen before anything else is going to happen. So we're going to see it fly again very, very soon. Yeah, let's air launch it. Yeah, I like the time. We should... no, this time I suggested getting down to 200, didn't I? We'll well overshoot. And then turn around. I like it. Now let's go 250. I'm being a wimp. Okay, can these be higher now? They're higher. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's because of the mature supersonic flight. So we're now launching from an altitude of 13,750 with a velocity of 272 meters per second already before we, just from the drop ship. And launch. It's going to be George. George, I believe, is the only person we have available. Launch. Okay, click off. KOS, Shift P, and P. Cool beans. That gets out of the way. And we're ready. Okay. A little bit of Zing. And space. Is it me, or is like not all those engines going? We have a bit of an engine issue right away. You stinker. What happened? Not all our engines. We only got 2 of them going. Do you see that? I think... No. Okay, we're abandoning the whole contract idea. Oh, what a piece of dingledore you are. Okay, we can... Okay, so we got an engine failure. Let's open this up. Let's head for this waypoint. Oh. Okay, heading of 270. And let's get up to an altitude, climbing at about 5 degrees right now. Let's get into an altitude of 20 kilometers. Heading. Okay, cruise, and now set that to the waypoint. All right, we're good. We're speeding up. I mean, the engine's going, but it's going at only half throttle, which is just so. I'm not going to get up to the speeds I need for the contract. I'm not going to get up to the speeds I need for the supersonic experiment. What we are going to do is use this, though, to get ourselves home. Is just going to be the idea. Now our angle to the KSC is... Oh yeah, it's very narrow, so I want this angle to grow. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. Well, George, this time it's you that got burned with an engine failure. We can see here now our total runtime is nowhere near the 3,600 meters per second, so, or the 3,600 seconds. I think I am exceeding this recommended runtime, though. But I'm not worried about it. Okay. Okay, we're just going to hold this. What did I set this to? 20 kilometers. I'm happy with that. Ah, okay. Let's give a little bit of time warping to this. Well, that's all part of the game, folks. Part of the game. So now it's about just getting back safely. See, this is where you sort of wish that I did start closer to the KSC. But I want to get this angle to the runway close to about 20 degrees, and then what I think I'll do is cut the engine and dump whatever the remaining fuel is, if any. Maybe we'll have burned all our fuel by then. Let's look at this again. Okay, we're leveling off, which is fine. We might get a little bit. Let's put on the speed control at 500. We might get a little bit of this science thing happening now that I'm looking. This may actually happen. Yep, the supersonic science is running, so we're doing something. We're doing something. I'm capping the speed at 500. We're going to be out of fuel soon anyway. Okay, climb angle probably... Let's keep it at 5 for now. So looking at our runtime, yeah, I'm over 300. Mean time between failures is actually measured in days, so I actually don't think I have too much danger of running into a failure. The fact that I'm over this 300 seconds, it doesn't matter that I'm over the rated burn time. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep cruising at this and get whatever science we can. I only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to collect all of the supersonic science data. I don't think I will make that. Do I have a cockpit view in this, by the way? I do. There is a cockpit. Okay. I really should pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay, let's get this to 10 degrees and 300. Take the speed control off. Deploy flaps and slow us down. Okay, we're not going to be getting any more science. We've got just a little bit of science. How much data is aboard here? We got 0.9 science out of that. But we are heading towards the runway. I can actually decrease at a little bit more of an altitude than that. There we go. Angle to the runway is 10 degrees, so I'm dropping at about 12 degrees. Just a little bit more. We used up all our fuel, right? Oh, yes, we did. So the engines failed at the end because of fuel depletion, no other reason. I'm going to quick save once again. You can kind of cheat this game with the quick saves, by the way, because if they are an RNG, or like when you get engine failures and stuff, it is an RNG thing. And if you quick save, I'm pretty sure that all resets. So if like you get an engine failure and you can keep reverting back and just restarting the launch until it works for you. I'm pretty sure that works. But I mean, that gets out of the spirit of all of this, and you can get into the Kerbalism settings and just disable the whole engine failure stuff anyway. So you can do it in a much more legitimate way. I mean, that's the glory of KSP, isn't it? You get to play it the way you want to play it. All right. Quite happy with this descent. George seems in good spirits. People were wondering how I was going to dump the fuel. I do have a dumping fuel part at the bottom here. Turned out that wasn't necessary, but it's a good thing to have on missions like this. That is a KOS part, I am pretty sure. Not a KOS, sorry. Smart part. Okay, we can give a little bit of time warping here again. Kill the throttle too. Throttle was still at maximum. All right, well, this has just turned into a little bit of science and a glorified parachute test, didn't it? Now I can take a better look at that interior of this cockpit. I didn't even look at this before. So this is the... doesn't really look like the outside, does it? It just looks like your Mark 1 cockpit from the regular game. Okay, increasing that angle to 10 degrees. Angle to the runway is 8.6 degrees. Speed still dropping. In control. You know what I was thinking there, because it felt like I went through that fuel pretty quick considering the engine's only at 50%, but I think the throttle was at 100%, so even though I was only getting 50% thrust, I think I was using up the fuel at the 100% rate. Because all of a sudden I was just thinking, like, we didn't get very far considering we used up all the fuel in here, but I think really we were using that fuel at only a 50% efficiency. I'm going to increase this angle once again, or decrease it, sorry, to 9. And we're going to come off a little bit on those flaps. No, let's put the flaps back again. I want to have a steady decrease in this speed. And this time I am not going to be pushing cap locks on the controls. I know it might look a little herky-jerky with my keyboard controls, but I think I want the aggressive controls. Okay, let's take the time warp off. And we're going to be leveling off at about 300 meters altitude. And once again, I'm going to be in control. Speed just dropped below 150 meters per second. Hey, the engine's lit. Remember I was worried about the parachute on the back? I really should have tested that now that I think about it in simulation mode, but I don't think the parachutes affected the motors. I think that engine failure had nothing to do with the parachutes. Maybe I should really do a simulation and verify that. Okay, leveling off, leveling off. Nice speed, maybe a little bit less on the flaps, going to fly-by-wire and deploying the landing gear. And kind of lining this up a little bit better. And hopefully see what happens with the parachute this time. Full flaps. I don't know if I'm saying it right, by the way, whether I'm saying... I keep saying flaps, but they could be spoilers. I don't really know. Okay, get down. And... oh! Okay. Nope, nope, nope. That parachute doesn't like me. It's a good thing I can land without it, because I got it to work once. And ever since I went to this new motor, I've not been able to get it to work. Regardless, we're down. All right, let's recover. All right. 0.9 science. For whatever reason, it's not letting me click. Oh, wait. Crew update. Yeah, his retirement. He's off until December. So, in fact, let's just take care of that right now. Both of these folks are inactive. Where is my alarm clock? I think I already put in an alarm for one of them. Frederick's alarm's already in, so I got to put in George's alarm. So they can't train, they can't do anything. So we are off for a little bit with all of that. Well, that doesn't stop us from taking a look at our planes, so let's try and figure that out. But actually, before the plane gets recovered, we're going to have the U-2000B sounding rocket ready, so that'll at least give us something different to take a look at. Okay, let's roll that out. And it will be rolled out again before the Bell X2 is ready for us. So, boom there. Okay, let's launch this. All right, so this is just a little sounding rocket. I actually resurrected the small launch complex purely to do this, and it is 100% going to be about science, no contracts, and the science in question, if we flip to here, is the biological sample. We have collected all of the available biological sample stuff. This is the simple biological sample. It's got small little organisms in there. I'm going with fruit flies because this thing pulls a crazy amount of G's when it comes back into the atmosphere. I don't even want to subject mice to that. But we are about 50% through the space low. So I'm thinking it takes 20 minutes in total. So we got about another 10 minutes in space low in order to collect it all. Probably 2 more launches of this is probably what's going to be required. But in the meantime, we're going to run it. So run sounding recover. If I can type. There we go. Off we go. And on to the U-2000 motor. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And our little booster is going to go bang on the ground. Right? Oh. Some point. Okay, we're just going to monitor our altitude here. This is not a particularly exciting rocket, but it gets the job done, as they say. So, oh, that was the explosion I was waiting for. Do a little bit of time warping here. And this is all about higher, better. Higher we get, the better we get. Okay, so 100 kilometers on the aperture. Oh! Oh, for frick's sakes, what happened there? Engine failed. Engine failed. We still have... it did not finish its burn. It's only getting to 117 kilometers in apogee, which is not space, which means we're not going to collect any of this science. Okay, I'm going to stage. I was about to abort the mission, but let's... No, heck, it's fruit flies. Sorry, fruit flies. Goodbye. Oh, man. Space Center. If it was the advanced biological capsule, would not do that. Though I suspect quite strongly they may have done that in the real world back in the 50s, but... Or we wouldn't do that. Okay, we are going to go into plans. We are going to put in another U-2000B sounding rocket. With the 2000... With the... Yeah, that is the one right there. Boom. Okay, so at least these things are pretty cheap to build. Speaking of cheap to build, here, let's get through the reconditioning of the launch pad. And we'll take a look at budget again. See if we can hire some more. Do some more hiring. All right. I am now at 300 researchers. That's a nice even number, so let's keep it there. But what I'd like to do is get into the V2 launch complex, where I have 113. I can take a total of 132. I can hire 10 more engineers for 3,000, which I can afford. Again, my surplus here is still very healthy, so let's hire 10 engineers. So, am I in the right launch complex? V2 launch complex, yes. And pop those over into there. That's 223. I'm pretty sure the other launch complex, yeah, they're at their maximum. So that's 160. And I think I'm going to then drift towards researchers. No, I don't want to do another group of 10. That would leave me with only 740 Kerbucks, so I'm going to pause that, pause that, pause that. Okay. Bellex 2 is being recovered. So let's recover that. Oh, Frederic is ready for duty. Nice. Okay, so that means we're going to take Frederic and we're going to do some training. Okay. Recover that Bellex 2. Yep. Edit. All right, here we go. So, landing gear, retract. Toggle gear. And fill those tanks. Okay, let's get that parachute out of there. Because that is something very wrong. So this time what I'm going to do, maybe it has to do with these. The only time it's ever worked is when I had it hooked to the very back of this fuel can. But this motor is quite a lot bigger than the first motor that was in here. And I don't know. I don't know if it models it getting fouled up like that. So what I'm going to do, I don't want it to be on the outside. Like, I just really, really don't like it. What if... Now, I'm also thinking, I'm pretty sure this gets modeled. If the parachute's up here, and the drag is up here... No, that's going to cause it to nose up. That's better than the other way around. Whether it was better to put it at the top or the bottom. So what I'm going to do... I'm trying just anything. Get in here. Slide. Oops. Take the snap off. Slide it back. At least it's less noticeable in there. Sliding it back. Maybe slide it down a little bit. And just leave it there. What if I place it there? I'm not even convinced that placement's the issue, but just because I'm just running out of ideas. Show parachute editor. I keep having this nagging suspicion I'm just... something stupid in here I'm just missing. So, spare shoots 1, auto cutoff 0.5 meter per second, landing altitude is 0. It should still pre-deploy, even if that's not right. Like, even I was all of a sudden like, what if it's not quite 0? But it's not even pre-deploying, so that's not right. Landing speed 100 meters per second, deceleration, parachute used 1. Pre-deployment altitude 50 meters, deployment altitude, I'm assuming that's 10 meters. Use the vessel's, whoa. Switch to... When did that happen? I'm using the vessel's current mass. Okay, that's right. Using the dry mass. Nope, that's cool. That's right. Okay. No, that's good. I thought for a second it was using the mass like of everything, but no, it's right. Okay, applying those settings. Success. Okay, close that. Close that. Close that. I don't even think you can color this. No. All right. Okay. Save the edits. It'll only take an hour. Did I fill the tanks? I did. So save the edits. All right. All right. So the Bell X2, it's only going to take an hour and a half to do those adjustments. So we'll get that done. Prep that for air launch. That's going to take a few days. It's still going to be done before our mission training is done, but that's okay. Pop to that. Not going to air launch yet because I do not have a pilot. So we've got to finish off the mission training. Oh, Frederic is ready for duty. Okay, so we'll get Frederic training as well. Okay, but we still have... No. Hang on here. Just wait. Let me look at my astronauts again. George is... Oh, no. That was Frederic being done. Oh, my gosh. She's ready. She's our pilot. George is still inactive. Removed from training. Yes. I need her to fly. I thought that was the alarm saying... Yeah, George has still got a few more days. Okay, no. We're going to air launch. Very cloudy day. That should make it fun. Okay, air launch. The 250, that ended up working out just fine. I'm going to stick with that. And we're going to launch. And Frederic is ready and ready to go launch. Okay. Z. Oh no! Wait a minute, the engine's still boogered. I thought the engine would get... Oh, did I have to replace the engine? I did it again! The engine's in the same state it was last time. Oh, for frick's sake. For frick's sake. It's the same problem. So I had to replace the engine. Okay. You know what we're gonna do though? We can do this. We are not we're gonna keep that. Get this again to 20 kilometers. And sure. Heading of 270 and engage. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I gotta replace the... I didn't know that. I thought... Because it is the same engine, I get that. So this engine needs to be replaced. Probably that's what the red is telling me. Or maybe you could right-click on it and do a repair? I don't know, but clearly there was something I was supposed to do with the engine. Shoot. So sorry, Frederic, you got the same busted, half-working engine that George had. We can still do a little bit of science once we get up to speed. Okay. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so no, we're nowhere near the speed we need to be at. Is this thing getting worse? Current throttle is 100. What if I reduce throttle? Like... No, no, no. Never mind. Need all the throttle. I was hoping that I could reduce the throttle to 50% and save on fuel use, but no, the game's on to me. That actually did reduce the thrust. Oh, for gosh sakes. Right? Like if where's my thrust? Thrust is 11. If I start... I heard the sound go down. Yeah, that does reduce thrust. Don't do that. Okay. Ah, la 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 la. Okay. Well, again, another glorified parachute test is what this is going to be. Now that I got the parachute marked right there, mounted up there, it'll be a little bit better. Not doing a very good job of getting to that contract, am I? Okay, we're coming close to altitude. So once we're at altitude of 20 kilometers, I'm going to set the speed control to 500 again. And get a little bit. What was it? 450, I think the speed has to be before the supersonic flight thing gets going. Oh my gosh. I might have a better engine, so if I'm going to be having to replace the engine, maybe I should replace it with a superior engine. I think both George and Frederica are like getting... Stop trying to be so cheap and squeeze as much out of this end. Stop it. Just stop it. You bastard. This is our lives you're talking about. Give us a decent engine. Well, for whatever reason, I don't even think we're going to get to the necessary speed here. I think maybe this motor's getting worse. Because it doesn't feel like... Again, maybe I wasn't paying attention before, because I'm almost out of fuel, and we still haven't gotten to that necessary 450. There's the 450. Oh, if we could fly for just another minute, we would have all of this science. Yeah, I know. Wait, wait, wait. Change this to 475. There we go. I don't have to get up to 500. Oh, come on. 36 seconds. Run for 36 seconds more. $18, $17, $15. You're going to run out just short, aren't you? 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, you son of a... Wait, wait, wait. We kept up speed long enough. We did it. Yes, that's 100%. That's 100%. Okay, wait, wait, wait. First of all, maybe we should think about our pilot. Get back down. 300. There we go. Deploy those flaps. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. I do believe I got it. By Jove, I think I've got it. Supersonic flight. There it is. Yes. There's no more value left to be gained. This 0.6 is what we have on the flight. I have to bring that back. But then I think I will have 100%. I think I don't have to do this science no more. In the meantime, though, we do have to get ourselves back to the runway. Come down a little bit steeper. So as you can see, we got a nice thick blanket of clouds. That we are going to have to get through. And hopefully the cloud cover, I hope the ceiling's not too low. I definitely do not want to land. No, I remember when we took off, there wasn't fog. So should have something. Okay. And then we can take a look at, like, while we're doing this, while we're on our way down, speed's nice, yep. There is a hypersonic flight experiment. That's the next one. And the hypersonic flight takes 24 minutes to collect it all. Works in much the same sort of way. You have to be flying low, so that's below 40 kilometers. But you have to have a surface speed of 1.5 kilometers per second. This thing can't do that. No, I remember, well, I don't know, maybe it can. That was actually the X1 that tapped out at around 1.1 kilometers per second. Okay. Yeah, maybe there's potential. And also, I think I got another engine. I think I got to get rid of this engine anyway. So it's awful. It's an awful engine. What is our... There we go. Let's put this to 10. And a little time warping. Okay. Well, maybe that's my cue to call it a day on the X2 and step her up to the X3. Again, I'm going to quick save for the landing. These clouds are gorgeous. But, okay, I think angle to the runway's 8 degrees. Our current pitch is 10 degrees. And we're going to be coming into the clouds pretty darn soon. Our speed is still over 200. Take the speed control off. That's clearly not doing anything. Did we get rid of all our fuel? We did. Oh, I'm not time warping. More time warping. More time warping, Fred. Okay, I'm going to put our descent at 9 degrees now. Just past 7 degrees as our angle to the runway. Speed is still good. We got to get through these clouds here. Okay. I'm actually going to get off the time warp, decrease the flaps just a little bit. I don't want to slow down too much. And I want to come out of these clouds and see where I'm going. Flatten out a bit. 8. More flaps. We're 27 kilometers away. Still do not have a visual, which I'm not a fan of. We are under 3 kilometers. We should be coming out at some point. I want to see the ground, please. Last time I did this, I landed in a similar situation to this and got completely discombobulated as far as where I was. I don't want the same thing to happen again. Okay, less on the flaps. Don't want the speed to get too low. Okay, coming to 2 kilometers. Oh, I can see water. what's coming out on the video. I can see a shoreline. Speed is holding pretty steady. And I can see the runway. No, I think I was better at what I had here. 8 degrees drop. More flaps. All right. Target is in view. You can see the runway. Okay, deploying the landing gear. And leveling off. Going to standard fly-by-wire. Okay, less flaps. Flaps again. Okay. Increase concentration. Okay, full flaps. Let's get in there. Arm parachute. Okay, parachute shouldn't deploy until we're below 50. Please work this time. Okay, I gotta replace that parachute, don't I? Get down. There's something wrong with that parachute. I think my best plan might be just to... I always thought it was getting fouled up on something, but there's just something flat out wrong with it, isn't there? I don't know. Alright, whatever. Recover. Back to the spaceplane hangar. Alright. 0.6 science. That should now be... Oh yeah, you get your time off. That should now put this at... If I go to the supersonic flight, that should be done. I should have 100% of that now. Why? Sometimes it gets... There it is. 100%. Boom. Done. Happy. 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 Let's just get into our astronauts here. That was... Frederica is inactive until January 16th. So let's put a... There. Add that to alarm clock. Okay, so both of our pilots are off for a little bit. Alright, what do we got coming up? We have, again, a sounding rocket coming up. Lots of engine failures. Okay, let's warp to that. George is back on duty. So that means George can do a little bit of flight training. Okay. Sounding rocket. Roll that out. Where is our redstone? Our redstone is coming up. Coming up. Oh, yes. 11 days away. Okay, that's exciting too. Okay, we are going to try again. Oh, we are now in 1956. We're going to try again with the U2000B. Okay, so very early morning. We have this red sky, which always kind of looks kind of cool, actually, I think. Let's just run our program. Okay, so same as what we saw a little earlier in this episode. This is just for science. All right, no engine failures this time, please. And I'm saying please. I'm getting a little tired of engine failures in this episode. Again, Biological samples, what we're after. In order to do that, we have to get over an altitude of 140 kilometers. How's our sun looking? Very bright sun. Okay. Alright. Alright. Time warping. A little bit of time warping. Whew. This, by the way, is, just in case it isn't clear, take the time warp off while I talk. This rocket is completely replaced every time, including the engine. So every time you get the engine, it's a brand new spanking engine. So we don't run into the same issues as what we just did with the X2. So just because this failed last time, that is an independent event than this time. But either way, we are 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300, 309 kilometers on the Apogee Awesomesaurs. Okay, so what we need to do is spend some time up there. So let's time warp until you can see our little door has opened up, giving our fruit flies a bit of a view. Not that they are appreciating it. Okay, that's 140. We're collecting. We need to be up here for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and we'll see how we do. So again, time warping up to Apogee. Oh, we can see the nice Terminator. Nice glow over there. It's a nice view of the end of the Florida Peninsula. Oh, we're on our way down. We did not get halfway, so this is going to require another launch. But that's okay. I'm not too upset about that. So one more launch of this, provided it runs the way it's supposed to run, should finish off the biological samples. Okay, we are re-entering into the atmosphere. Okay, and I think it's around 100 kilometers that KOS will deploy. We'll separate off the nose cone, the avionics, the little biological sample there, and the parachutes. Nope. Oh, yep. There we go. Okay, deploying payload, and that is that. And then my favorite part of this is when this thing goes slamming back into the atmosphere, the horrific G's that it pulls. Also, I like the fact that we always seem to just narrowly miss our own booster there. Here comes the G's. Here comes the G's. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and pegged. And now it's coming back down again. But we did collect science here. We can take a look. Another 8 science, so that should get another node researching. So that's good. All right, that one was, well, I shouldn't count my chickens just yet. Parachutes still have to deploy and all that kind of stuff. There we go. And down. Okie dokie. Well, hopefully the next one will go successfully, and then we can call... I think the next one really will be the end of these little sounding rockets. I think I am coming towards the end of what they can do for me. But 8 science is 8 science. That is nothing to sneeze at. What was that? Was that my booster hitting the ground? I think it might have been. And splash. Okay. Recover. Okay. So that is another 8 science, up to 22.2 of the 24.8 that's there. So yeah, another successful launch like that will finish that off. Okay, recovering some parts. And we'll go into plans. We'll push another one of those out. Hopefully the last one. U-2000B sounding rocket. Yep, you are the one. All right, and let's get in here. We got 15.1 science. Let's see. We got down here. I like to sort of just look, you know, like these are being researched. What kind of branch is not being researched? So I want to take a look down here. We got early avionics cores. That's always going to help us out, isn't it? That's 7 science there for improvements to the avionics. And then more science. Oh, we have the Geiger. Oh, yes. So let's... Does it give us any information on this? It does. Okay, so we got a Geiger counter. And 91 days it takes. So you need to put this in orbit clearly. Collects science in space low and space high. We have an early magnetometer boom. That takes 30 days. Landed biomes, it's not going to give us that. But space low and space high. So again, something to go into orbit. A micrometeor detector, which needs to run for 91 days to collect all the science. So all of these things are things you really do have to put onto. We got a basic film camera. It takes 2 hours. Hang on here. Hang on here. Basic film camera, 2 hours. Does planetary photography. Space low is biome specific. The experiment is planetary photography, which is the same experiment that was way back here. No. One of these. Where's that camera? That one. Nope. That one. No, I'm lying. But there was a camera. I think it's in the starting parts. But I'm wondering if it does the same experiment, but it's just really light. You know, improved photography equipment. That would make sense. It's only, well, 76 kilograms. Where is the starting parts? Come on. Getting a delay in my button clicks, and then a button click twice. There's the early film camera. And that's 100 kilograms. So it's not that much lighter. But if I look at this one, this was in the, you get started with this. The experiment that it does is still planetary photography. So it might be the exact same experiment that this does. And then we got an early television camera. Cool, 20 minutes. Okay, so that looks, both of these are 7. I could get both of those kind of going in the queue. And then way up here, really looking at this. High speed flight. I think I'm not that far into jet. I think I'm going to go down here and look at these two. I think I'm going to get both of them going. And I think I'm going to put those additional probe cores, this one with the priority. So let's go to here. Let's take a look at research. I think I'm happy. Happy with the order. We'll keep the order exactly the way it is. I don't need my plans open anymore. 1.1 science. Let's recondition the launch pad. Think about hiring again. Always interested in hiring. So looking at staff. Let's hire researchers. So I might hire 20 researchers. That's what I'm thinking. So that'll be 6,000 curb bucks. I got 8,402. It'll still leave me 2,402. I think that's okay. And it'll still leave me a very healthy surplus. There we go. And now I have twice as many researchers as engineers again. I don't know why. I just like that number. It works for me. Okay. So coming up next, Bell X2 recovery. We got to figure this out. We really got to figure out this parachute engine nonsense. Oh, we gotta go to combined, silly. Edit. Alright, so first off, this engine. Is there a repair option on it? I don't think it has a repair option. So probably my best plan is just to chuck it. Now there is an engine. Okay, so I do have... Oh, wait, I don't have upgrades. Shoot. Shoot. This is the one you start with, the RM3. This is the one it's on, the RM5. There is this XLR35-RM1, but that one is a single-use engine, if I'm not mistaken. One ignition, so this is like... I want to really push my Kerbals to a super high altitude. No. Well, maybe. Jeepers creepers. I'm not really sure now. But I think what I should do is take this engine off. You get thrown away. Away with you. And we're going to get a whole new VAB organizer. You are great. Where have you been all my life? Multi-use engines are down here at the bottom. The XLR11. We're going to put... Open up these. Come on. In you go. We're going to upgrade it again to the XLR RM-5. And that is now the same engine that was in there before. It's just going to be a new one. Close those. Next, you, Mr. Parachute, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you are being thrown away. And we are getting a brand new radial parachute. And we have to figure out why this is being the way it is. So, show parachute editor. Okay, get down to the previous size. I want it to be small. I want it to be a drag chute. I'm not going to change the materials. I'm going to leave all those numbers on the defaults except for spare chutes. I'm going to put in a single spare chute. You know what? Could that be my issue? Could it be the spare chutes? Like, because I've just been... Okay, this might be something. Like, maybe this thing only has so many uses, and before I went down to one chute, maybe I used it twice, and then that was it. I thought every time you applied the settings, it was like a brand new parachute, but no, okay. I think here I'm setting the number of reuses. I get 5 reuses off of this parachute before I have to chuck it. Could that be it? I mean, I'm not sure, because I don't know. Oh, here's an extra window. What is this? I've got me a feeling when it runs out of spare chutes, I bet you before the spare chutes said 0. I don't bet you. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So I'm going to keep the spare chutes at 1. Maybe that's been my problem all of this time. We want this to be a drag chute. All of this stuff I'm leaving on the defaults. All of that stuff I'm leaving on the defaults. I think I might have just found my issue. And don't switch to what? Apply the settings. That might make some sense. So the spare chutes is the number of reuse. I thought the spare chute was like, you know, the first chute failed to deploy and you get like a second shot at it or something. Okay. All right. Show parachute editor. I'm thinking I might be onto something. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's all good, that's all good, that's all good. Fill those tanks. Toggle the gear again. Okay, there might be life in the old girl yet. flag. Come on, hit the landing gear. That's what I want. Toggle landing gear. Okay. Now, what I got left, because I did finish off all that science in the interim, but I do have this hypersonic flight science. And the hypersonic flight science requires me to get to a speed of 1.5 kilometers per second. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a test flight of this thing. And we're going to see just how fast it can go. I still do have, it's been hanging around now for a little while, the Rocketplanes experimental. Okay. Which is to get to an altitude of 28 kilometers. Okay, so what I'm going to do I still have that old flight plan? That's a good question. There was my old flight plan. Then 28. Yeah, let's change that to 28 now. Because I got to get up to that. No max. Sorry, I just realized you're not seeing this. I missed the button. There it is. So I just changed my flight plan a little bit. I've been doing this at 250. I'm happy with it. Let's keep that 250. So go to 25 kilometers. 28.1. No. Oh wait, I might need a velocity max. Let's get back to this again. Sorry. Here. This says 1.5. It just says a minimum speed of 1.5, so no max. Here it says reach 7, no max, so no max. Okay. So save that. Okay, let's give this a simulate. I did fill the tanks, right? Simulate. Now, I did notice it was dark outside, so I'm going to add on maybe 8 hours onto our current time. So hopefully we'll be doing this in the day. Okay, simulate. Alrighty, so here we are. Don't need you. Shift P and P. Go to here. So heading 270 is good. Altitude of 25 kilometers. Climb rate 15 I think sounds right. Now I have no idea how long I can hold that speed for. It might not be worth my time until I get a better motor on this. No speed maximum. Do set the heading. All right, let's do this thing. Put you there. Got to do the air launch thing. Max is 250. Launch. I was hesitating for so long. Okay, do that and engage the cruise flight controller. All right. So I want to get up to altitude. And I am thinking about a contract right here. So reach 700 meters per second between 10 and 28 kilometers. Let's actually change this. I'm changing my mind already to 27.9. There. So it's just below 28. And then we got to get up to 28. And then we got to get up to 1,500 meters per second. Oh, I never put the science experiment in. Shoot. Okay, so we'll get it up to 1500 meters per second anyway, and just see how long we can do it for. But I never did install the experiment. In fact, I still have the old supersonic one in there. That needs to come out. Alright, alright, alright. We are building speed. We are using up fuel. Engine is a go. Main thing we can at least do is do this contract, which does require getting to 28 kilometers in altitude. So this one's not trivial. But I might be getting to the top end of what I'm going to do with this motor. I should look to see what is the tech node that gets me the better ones, because maybe I should prioritize that. Okay, I'm going to reduce my climb rate to 10 degrees. The aerodynamic surfaces are noticeably less efficient up here. The control surfaces, you can really kind of tell. I'm wondering if the best way to do this is to climb in such a way so that you'll crack 700 kind of on your way up, and then you just kind of arc over 28 kilometers to do the rest of this, but we'll see how we do. What is it? 700 meters per second. I'm not going to get to that. Keep going, plane. You're getting close to half the fuel gone, though. So I really have my doubts about the hypersonic science stuff. I might need a better motor for that. But I can at least do this contract. Okay, we are beginning to level off here. And we need to get to 700 meters per second. I'm pretty confident on that front. And as soon as I get to 700 meters per second, I'm going to go up to 28.1 on this. So just going to be ready. Okay, there's 700 meters per second, 28.100. Shoot. Not typing fast enough. I'm wondering if I should take off the vertical motion when I do that. It kind of dipped down a little bit. Now it's dipping back up. I'm going to put a speed controller of 1510 on this, but not engage it yet. Okay, we've done the requirements for the contract. Let's put on the speed controller. And can this thing get up to 1500 meters per second for a reasonable amount of time? That's what I'm kind of looking at. And if so, it might be worthwhile putting that experiment on it. Oh, we got a crude speed record of 900 meters per second. That just fell. And if all goes well, we should hit 1200 meters per second because our target is 15. I am not convinced this motor is capable of this. I am not the least bit convinced of it. Okay, so the science is not going to be a thing. No, there's no way. We're not going to get to 1200 either. I can see it starting to slow down already. Remember, 30 kilometers is not healthy for our pilot, so going up a little higher is not going to help us out too much. Might hit 1200. I think 1200 is doable. 1200 is doable. Going well past the K. I can see the KSC coming up below us. There goes 1200 meters per second. We are getting some fuel warnings. But if we get to 15, it's going to be just for a moment. Alright. I'm a-thinking. Yeah, we're going to get to 14 maybe? 14. 1.4 kilometers per second. that is going to be it. Wow. Yeah. Almost. Okay, let's put this to 10,000. Put this to 30 or 25. Deploy flaps. All right. Let's get back into that flight plan. I think much, much lower on this. Okay. Let's get back into that flight plan. So what I want to do, I put this at 27.9. And then you just nose up to 28. I think I'm fine with that. No max. We'll break records. I think that's cool. Maybe set the max at like just over 1200. So there's no reason. We'll do that 1200. So 1210 meters per second. There we go. So there's our flight plan. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. There, and let's get here and revert back to the editor. Okay. So we are going to remove the science because there's no point. Configure that crew science. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay. We will do this contract though, so that will be something. Let's save this, and let's save the edits. It's only going to take, it's going to take 41. Oh, because I got to replace the bloody engine. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so this is going to be out for a while. Okay. So 41 days it's going to take for that. Let's do a quick look to see what is going to be improving. It might be this one. The XLR, what is it? X11, XL11, something like that. I'll know it when I see it. This is it. The XLR11 upgrade is coming with orbital rocketry. Where, I'm going to prioritize that one. So where does orbital rocketry fit into all of this on my research queue? Orbital rocketry is coming up. Why can't I not? Oh, I know. I wonder if this has to do with, I'm noticing these are grayed. I wonder if it has to do with prerequisites. Let's go back in here. What's the prerequisite for orbital rocketry? Can't be done until satellite era materials science is done. See that connected? Okay, so it's going to be a while till we see that motor. Okay. So what we're going to do, I guess this is the order it has to be. That's going to be it. Okay, let's see. What do we got left? We got mission training for the X1, but that's kind of useless now. I might actually even have to retrain them again in a little bit, but because it's going to be a little while before these folks are back. But we do have, we do have the Redstone coming up. Yes, we do. But I'm looking at the time. If it was going to be a minor mission, here, let's do some time warping. We can at least do some time warping. So that's some mission training done. I might just put in a little alarm here. The X2 is going to be done on February the 17th. What's the date now? Where's my pilots? Astronauts. Okay, when Frederic becomes available, I'm going to train both of them again, I think is the better plan. Okay. But in the meantime, we are only 4 days away from the Redstone. Obviously, we got to roll that out. You know what? Wait. This, how long's this one away? 15 days. You know what? I'm looking at the time of where we are in the video, and I think this is going to be a good time in which to end it. So coming up, we got the Redstone. We've got the U-2000B, probably with its last launch, provided everything goes well. We got the X2, probably with its last flight. Haven't upgraded the cockpit, so we'll try to see maybe we can shoot for some altitude records for it. But you know, all of that is going to have to come for a future episode. In the meantime, though, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, you can support this channel indirectly by simply, liking and subscribing, but I would say more importantly, engaging with the comments down there below the video. If you really like what you're seeing, I do have some patrons and YouTube members, that your list of which you'll see at the end or during the credits as they roll. But in the meantime, I'm going to thank everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again for the next one.